and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, here once again, as always, with my player 2, the boy.
Hey.
And this is the Two Nerds Podcast. Before we get started...
Well, you gotta be player 1.
Well, I mean, usually I end up being player 1.
I see how it is.
I think it's because I have the Xbox Gold, traditionally.
Yeah.
Because I'm the guy who uses it more, so...
You end up with 1 just so that...
Yeah. Just for financial reasons. I am financially beneficial to be player 1. Actually, interestingly enough, I keep getting sidetracked. Hold on, let me get this shit out. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Really, all we really care about is the likes and the subscriptions. I mean, the comments would be nice. We'd love to hear from you guys, but you don't have to. I know...
Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Also, the other thing we care about is Super Blizzard. His Shining Was Auto song, Let's Get Hardcore, is our theme music. It's super awesome. You should buy his musics. Also, Puppet Kingdom, I believe, is the name of his game.
He's got Joy Lancer, he's got Puppet Kingdom, he's got some wrestling thing. The dude is prolific. Joy Lancer just got a huge update. I hear it's like way 1,000 times better now.
So look into that shit. That's the other thing we care about.
Yeah, that is the other thing we care about. But I actually, since time immemorial, since I was but a young lad playing on the NES, I have always preferred player 2. Luigi was always my favorite Mario brother. And to the point that I actually dressed up as him in his Fire Flower outfit for Halloween one year.
That's awesome.
When I was but a lad, yeah. I want to say it's his resemblance to my father, who is also a tall, lanky Italian plumber with a mustache.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah. So,
does your father have a brother who is shorter and fatter?
Sadly, no. But, yeah, so, I know we said we were going to do The Hobbit. And you probably clicked this video going, where's my fucking Hobbit? I am still super sick, as I'm sure you can tell. And
I'm starting to get sick.
That combined with accidental mass digestion of caffeine with like little to no food in the last 48 hours led to me not sleeping this morning. So when we were going to go see The Hobbit, we just didn't have time. We're probably going to do it Friday-ish. This week, I Googled Nerd Questionnaire, and I thought that might be a good way to find some material for the podcast. And I came up with a link to, I'm probably butchering this, Jasila's Gaming Questionnaire. I'll include a link to her website in the description. I have no affiliation with her. She has no affiliation with us. I just like to credit stuff I steal. And we got 21 questions here about video gaming that should have to do with a lot of concepts that I wanted to cover anyway, and should be fun for you guys to find out about us.
I'm approaching these questions mostly sight unseen, so is he. I think he read through them briefly before we started the podcast.
Super skim.
So, I mean, they seem like they're good, pointed, very, well thought out questions.
Let's see. Question 1 is pretty fucking easy. When did you start playing video games?
When did I start playing video games? I started playing video games... Honestly, before I consciously started keeping track of how old I was, it's the easiest way to explain it. I may have been 5, I may have been 6, I may have been 7. I honestly don't remember. I remember that, I don't believe it was me, one of my sisters got a Nintendo Entertainment System as like a Christmas present. I started playing that. One of the first games I ever beat was Contra. I actually beat Contra before I beat Super Mario Bros.
Without the cheat code, if I recall, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That is a badge of honor. I beat Contra with no Konami code. You have any idea how fucking annoying that is to do?
Yeah, when you're a kid, it's pure magic.
And it's like, it's fun. This is something to do with my day.
As soon as I was old enough to cognize what a controller was and how it worked, I was all over that shit. I was born in October of '85. The Nintendo and I are only but days apart. A few years later, I want to say I was 5, 6 maybe? A family member, who I don't even remember, I'm so sorry, but it was 25 years ago, brought over their NES when they came over to hang out for Christmas, I believe. And I played it, and it was amazing, and I loved it. And not too long after, my parents got me one. Or got them one, I don't really remember. Timeline's probably a bit skewed there. But the important thing was, I had Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, the dual cartridge.
Yeah, the dual Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge. The one I think that, unless you were like a first adopter for the Nintendo Entertainment System, actually did it come with the console?
After a little while, yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, I had like Burger Time and Tetris, and then later on I got the Ninja Turtle game and shit. What else did I get? Like before I even knew, Mickey's Mousecapade, which is an awful game you should never play. That was about all the games I had before I started understanding what gaming was. So yeah, as soon as I was old enough to really understand, like some of my earliest fucking memories are playing Nintendo in my parents' bedroom at the old apartment we lived at.
Some of my earliest memories are playing Nintendo in my parents' bedroom in the house I grew up in.
There we go, man. Well, that kind of bleeds into question number 2: is what is the first game you remember playing? It's Super Mario Brothers, man.
I played Mario first. I beat Contra first, but the first game I ever played, Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
I think I had played other games in that vicinity, but the first one I remember playing was Mario. I think that was my earliest memories of video gaming. If not, it may have been Pitfall on the Atari. I mean, maybe.
Blow it on that cartridge. That's actually, real talk, that's my earliest memory of anything involving video gaming, is trying to get an NES to work.
Nice. Yeah, my dad had, he would pick up these cool ass NES games too. Just out of nowhere I'd come home and there'd be these new games. And my stepmom really loved puzzle games, so she would get shit like Tetris 2, and Dad found this cool ass pinball game that was like, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's probably something dumb like Pinbot or something. But they were like, it was like this giant fucking Terminator-esque robot monster that you played pinball on. And he was like taunting you, and there were like digitized voice clips playing on the fucking NES while you're playing pinball. It was pretty cool. I digress. Question number 3 on this list is PC or console?
Alright. Up until a scant few years ago, maybe 4? Maybe. I was, in large part, a console gamer. There were a couple tried and true games I played on PC, mostly because of my brother-in-law. I grew up with the guy. He was there for the time I was like 10 years old on. So he introduced me to a lot of video games, a lot of what I prefer in gaming. But a big reason I had played PC games when I was a kid was to play Fallout, that he introduced me to, and there was one other PC game, Diablo, and Diablo 2. But in large part, 90% of the time I was a console gamer. These days, starting about maybe 4 years ago, I would honestly say I'm tending towards PC gamer. Like, yeah, I get more excited for stuff that's coming out on PC. I enjoy playing PC games a lot more often than console games until very recently with Inquisition. And I got Skyrim, which the Elder Scrolls had always been a console game because that's how I was introduced to it. I finally got it on the PC, and I have a lot more fun with it. So I'm starting to bridge into, and I feel like I've turned traitor on my people.
See, to me, they're different beasts.
They really are. They're for different things.
Well, and it's not even like it's really easy to define. Like, consoles are for RPGs, and PCs are for shooters. That's totally not the way I think.
PCs are for shooters, though. That's another thing. I played Quake before I ever played a single console shooter. I am a PC shooter kid, mouse and keyboard master race. It's just, everything else feels clunky.
I grew up on like a hybrid, man. I mean, PC games back when I was playing PC games were super dirt simple. They didn't have anything as complex as like Mario, until like the 90s when I got into Electron Man. It was a really cool game. My dad had on his computer where you were this dude who looked kind of like RoboCop, and it kind of played like the old Duke Nukem games, the side scrollers.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun as fuck. Duke Nukem, also the old one's fun as hell. I like Duke Nukem 3 as well. That was good. But I've grown up, and I didn't really realize this because I never thought of PCs as a gaming platform. I more thought of the games I played on the PCs as like a fun thing that you could happen to be able to do. But the more I look back, the more Now it's fucking making games on Click and Play on PC. It's how Scott Cawthon, the guy who made Five Nights at Freddy's, how he got started. His mom bought him Click and Play, so he was like, "Oh, I'll do this." I had mine pirated from a friend of a friend, so I never really did anything spectacular with it. I did have this one game called Duke Skull. They had this sprite, like default sprite in the Click and Play engine, of a motorcycle guy, and I drew up some aliens, and the storyline was a lot like Duke Nukem 3's storyline. I was playing that a lot then. That his girlfriend got kidnapped by aliens, so he had to go save her. So you like drove this motorcycle through different puzzles, like based on timing and knowing when to shoot the aliens with your shotgun and stuff like that. It was fun. It was stupid. I also made my dad for his birthday. He never got to play it because I couldn't get it to work on his computer. A Walker Texas Ranger game. I found a little MIDI of the fucking Walker Texas Ranger theme, and I made that the theme song, and I made a Walker sprite, and I don't remember all the missions, but I remember you started out, you were talking to Trevette at the CB's, whatever, his restaurant or whatever it was, and then there were little driving sections where you had to drive to the different missions, and you usually like got there and had to like solve things really quick. You like had to karate chop a guy, or you had to shoot a guy, or dodge a bullet because he was shooting you first. It was stupid. I loved it.
Did you roundhouse kick dudes?
Oh, hell yeah, man.
All right.
Hell yeah.
That's all you need.
It was fantastic. But yeah, I digress. They're different beasts to me. And I don't know if I could ever separate myself from either of them. And there's no real way to define it. I'm accepting. For a long time I couldn't because of the controls, but I'm accepting side-scrollers on PC now. In fact, most of the side-scrollers I play are on PC now. But the PC is for me like more. I use PC more for group games, like multiplayer
games. They're just easier unless you're doing couch co-op. Which, sidebar, I'm really mad that game developers seem to think that no gamer has friends in real life who would come to their house to play video games. Because I have a roommate, and we like to play co-op games, and they're destroying couch co-op from like all the things. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, they might have neutered some of the fun dialogue in Army 2. Yeah. But look, the 40th day was fucking amazing.
That was a fun game.
And I we might have to give the other one a rent. Whatever it's called. Just because it's more couch co-op.
Soulless, man.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta take what you can get. I survived. I survived through the great Mega Man drought, okay? You gotta take what you can get, man. Yeah, multiplayer. And that, especially across the internet, you have more people who reliably can play something. Because, I mean, you play League of Legends on the laptop we're recording this on, which, as much as I love Archie...
yeah, please don't die. We're in the middle of a podcast.
Certainly. No, he's good. He's kicking. His monitor's a little wonky, but whatever. He's a good machine. He's not a gaming rig.
No.
He was intended for me to write on, and I did that. I edited my first and second novels on this computer after I tripped back from Disney.
Yep.
And, of course, we record the podcast on him and the old videos.
We get a lot of use out of Archie.
Oh, yeah.
He was never designed as a gaming rig.
But
he barely runs League.
You can still play League, and you can still play WoW. Just have to turn the graphics way down.
Yep.
But it's still playable. And, we played a lot of fucking WoW switching back and forth on those computers.
And you know what? League's new maps and they optimize really well. My graphics don't look that much worse than anyone else's.
No, yeah.
It's one of the many other reasons I love League is because I can play it on my computer without feeling like a second-class citizen.
So, the age-old debate, PC versus console, I say embrace them both, because both of them have benefits.
Both of them have things they're stronger at.
Yeah. So that was question 3, kids. That ate up a whole 10 minutes. Woo-ha. Number 4, now this is an actual bloody debate, not between the two of us, but in general.
No, we've reached a conclusion.
Xbox, PlayStation, or Wii?
Okay, now this is a fun story. I was a PlayStation 1 early adopter, a PlayStation 2 very early adopter, because my parents knew I loved video games, and so they got me that for Christmas.
So you basically went from like Nintendo, like NES, to PlayStation, right?
I went from an NES to a Sega Genesis.
Okay.
That I mostly just played Sonic on, I'm going to be honest. to a PlayStation 1, and then my brother-in-law had a Dreamcast. And we got those at the same sort of time frame.
Okay.
Then we moved to PlayStation 2. I was a Sony kid. I was a PlayStation fan. I'm not going to say fanboy, but you could, and I couldn't debate you. But because look, the PlayStation 2 was better than the Xbox. That's just fact. But
yeah, I mean,
it had better games. It had a better life cycle. It was better.
Yeah.
But then the PS3, Xbox 360 generation happened, and that tide turned.
Oh, and the Wii won that console.
Yeah, the Wii won that console war. But between the two runners up, Xbox won. The 360 is way better than the PS3. I own both of them, so I can say that the 360 is way better than the PS3. And the PS3 even has my preferred DVD type thing. It has Blu-ray, which I backed instead of HD DVD, and I'm still smug for winning that one because this dude backed HD DVD.
Yeah, I did. I was hardcore. We never bought any.
No.
We didn't buy any until someone won.
Yeah.
Actually, is what happened.
It's like, I think this guy's gonna win. I think this guy's gonna win. Let's buy neither until one of them does.
Brandy was so happy the day Blu-ray won because she was like, "Sweet, now I can buy Super HD shit." But I still remember the day we turned HD on our TV. Both of us were like, "It's not that different. It's not that fucking different." We turned it on, we're like, "Whoa!"
No. The first day we turned it on our TV it was like that, but then we turned on the 360 to HD.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, "Oh my god, this looks like ass! Why would we ever want to look? This looks terrible!" And then we flipped the little switch in the back 360 that makes the 360 put out video in HD, and we went, "Oh."
I don't know. Like, it's one of those things.
I can't go back now.
Yeah, once you get used to it. Now I want to get a CRTV for my my Wii games. And,
Wii just looks better on CRT.
yeah, it just does. Like, I tried to play The Last Story. I still haven't finished it. It's a really good game. It's really fun. I like it. Lost Odyssey. I'm sorry, not The Last Story. No,
it's The Last Story.
Yeah, The Last Story. Lost Odyssey I also haven't finished, but that's fucking Cat Seuss's fault. But The Last Story I haven't finished. I love the game, but I'm doing it a disservice by playing it on a fucking flat screen HD TV. It's going to look so much better when I get it back on a CRT.
Which the thing was designed for.
Yeah. Now, I have a similar story. I started with the NES, and eventually my brother Matt and I got a Super Nintendo, which I sort of inherited because he fucked off and did his own thing with sports ball.
Sports ball.
And then I got an N64. I was a Nintendo kid. Because I was a little sheltered, I didn't really know any better. I got a Genesis eventually. My dad got me one. I played a lot of shit on that. We rented sometimes too. I'd rent a Genesis and I'd fucking play Sonic games and Comic Zone and Eternal Champions. And
I killed so many hours with those free demo DVDs they would give you with like other games. I must have played the Toomba demo like for at least 10 hours.
But then I got a PlayStation finally. I remember I was around the time I was playing WWE or WWF at the time, Attitude. I had that on an N64. And probably also had WrestleMania 2000 around that time. And then the PlayStation came out, and I'd heard there were videos on it and stuff. And like not long after that, WWF Attitude dropped.
Yeah, Attitude.
Did I say Attitude the first time? I meant Raw's War or Warzone. WWF
You said Attitude.
Warzone. I'm sorry. Warzone I had on the 64. I think Attitude I got on the PlayStation. I remember the load times were insane. But that was kind of the start of me playing on the PlayStation. I wasn't allowed to have one for a while because Electronic Gaming Monthly, I'm going to bring out this old chestnut. Electronic Gaming Monthly ran a April Fool's Day prank in one of their editorials that there was a special thing you could do in the game that unlocked a secret ending in Tomb Raider where Lara Croft was naked. And that's the reason I didn't have a PlayStation until I was 16.
Yeah. Yep. I just thought about something. We're totally not going to get through this list.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Double long, two-parter maybe.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. You guys aren't going to listen to this anyway.
I just saw the time, saw what question were on. Like, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna happen.
Now there's a bunch toward the end that are like me. But, fuck it, we're having fun. Let's have fun and talk and be friends, because that's what the Two Nerds podcast is about. It's about friendship and colorful candy ponies.
I should probably leave then.
Whatever, don't act like you don't like it.
What, My Little Pony?
Yeah.
No, that's a fine show.
There you go. Anyway, so yeah, I got into PlayStation, and I was like you. I wasn't a fanboy. I wouldn't like fight for it, and I still had my soft spot for Nintendo, but PlayStation was putting out better shit. And then I got an Xbox. Well, my ex-wife got an Xbox. I liked a couple games on there, and the 360 dropped. And in my I no longer have a wife post, divorce sadness and sudden influx of money because I'm only supporting, one person instead of two people, she worked too. But I still had more money because I didn't have as many bills. I bought a 360 and a new TV, and it's been Xbox since.
Yep. We have an Xbox One. Full disclosure, maybe this means I should turn in my card, my membership, as it were. But I'm so glad I own an Xbox One. I wasn't gonna. I was gonna boycott an Xbox One being brought into my house when they had that you can't play used games on it bullshit going. But they backed off that ledge, which means I get to act like Tony Stark and use my voice and hands to control my television, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I got it for that, not for its gaming potential. And as I understand it, the PlayStation 4, just an arbitrarily better system. Just verifiably, mechanically better. But so is the PS3.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, there's PS3 games I like that I haven't really played.
Yep, Dante's Inferno. Seems
they're
fine.
They're on that weird Blu-ray player we used to have.
Yep. Is it even still down here? No.
Yeah, it's over there.
It's just buried in games.
Yeah, Brandy played Beyond Two Souls on it. Another game I need to get to, but it's over on the PS3.
I became done with Quantic Dream games when they made a game I literally couldn't play.
Yeah, that sucks. Because they're great stories, but... Yeah. Seemed like I wanted to say something else, but I can't remember what that was. Oh, ironically, we have had that Xbox One for about a year now.
Inquisition? First game on it.
Yeah. Well, we downloaded some of the free games with gold. Yeah, and I played a lot of Super Time Force.
We downloaded free games with gold, and I played one of them for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but because it's an entertainment device. I mean,
It is an all-in-one. It covers my Netflix. It is my new cable box, because I don't use the remote if I don't have to.
It's nice.
I just scream at my television to show me Comedy Central, and then it does.
It's good living in the future. Question 5 of 21 here at the 26-minute mark.
Excellent work.
What's the best game you've ever played?
That's a hard one.
Well, this is gonna be put on the internet, and nothing on the internet ever goes away, chiseled in stone. You're gonna have to defend this to your grave.
Yeah, he's making a joke because he knows I actually think that way. I tend not to say anything on the internet I am unwilling to defend. Anything you've ever heard me say on this podcast, I am willing to defend. I don't know, man. I honestly don't. Because the problem is every game I've ever played, I can think of something that's wrong with it.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. But, that doesn't mean what's the perfect game. It's what's the best game you've ever played. What's the closest to perfection a game's got.
I honestly don't know. That's the thing. There are different, bests of different genres, but each genre has its own very wildly different criteria,
Yeah, no, I agree.
If you're talking about, the game that embodied its criteria the best that I've played, the one that is what it set out to be absolutely 100% the best, probably Mass Effect 3.
Other than doing what their advertising campaign suggested.
Yeah, they weren't good at... The ending is the thing that's wrong with that game.
And we don't even hate the ending.
Yeah, I like the ending of that game, but that is so the exact ending they said they wouldn't give us. But aside from the ending, that's the thing that's wrong. It's set out to be a Western RPG, and it is the best Western RPG.
It's all glass of sarsaparilla there, my friend.
And as I said, I am willing to defend that statement.
All right. Well, hey, if you out there in internet land, Ultimo Dragon, have taken umbrage with that in between winning every championship ever and being generally awesome and handsome. And you want to call the boy out and be like, hey, Mass Effect 3 is a shit pile and here's why. If you just scroll down a little bit, there's a big empty box. You can write all of your crap thoughts in.
And I will read it. I will read your YouTube comments.
And he'll get so mad.
I will get so mad.
I'll have to talk him down. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know if I can really qualify the best game. Because I haven't played them all. I mean, there's that.
But it's the best one I've ever played. There might be a better game.
True.
But if there's a better of those, I don't know it.
Now, until recently, I would have been in a similar boat with you. My all-time favorite game is Final Fantasy VI. Always has been, and probably always will be, unless they make another better Final Fantasy VI. And, you know, it probably has a fair amount to do with nostalgia, but I also have a healthy appreciation for everything that goes into that game.
Yeah.
The second best game, my second favorite game, it's in question right now, but tentatively at this point, my second favorite game that I've finished is Mass Effect 3. I think you're absolutely right. It does the best job of being a Western RPG. It marries story and action sequences, and I love a good climax. And that whole game is a climax. And there's pathos, and the acting is good, and the missions are clever, and it doesn't get boring, and multiplayer's fun.
It's a
the
full
total
package. Yeah.
Yep. However, Inquisition is really fucking good.
Inquisition is really good, and here is why I don't rate it above Mass Effect 3. Okay?
Okay.
Whole reason. The storyline of Mass Effect 3, not the main storyline, but one, the romantic subplots. In Mass Effect, just better. And two, and this one's bigger, this is a very legitimate criticism that I didn't notice until someone pointed it out, but there's a legitimate criticism on this game having too many fucking fetch quests.
I don't personally get rubbed the wrong way by fetch quests.
I don't usually, but wow, there really are a real lot of them in this game. And a lot of them have to do with, like, platforming. Like, there's platforming puzzles in this game.
Sure.
And this game's platforming is not good. This is the first time they've tried jumping in their game, and you can tell they're noobs at it.
That's not bad, though.
No, it's not bad. It's just not good.
I'm not going to say it's a perfect game. I mean, clearly, it's not even my favorite game.
Well, yeah, no, it's not a perfect game. I'd say it's really good. If the ending, because I haven't beat it, if the ending is better, then on the strength of having a good ending, it might topple Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
But it also has problems, and they're problems you encounter way more during playing the game than you encounter the problem with Mass Effect 3.
For me, Mass Effect 3 had other problems.
Oh, also, and this is entirely my fault, the class I'm playing is broken and makes the game too easy.
You can crank up the difficulty, I think, in the option menu.
Didn't help.
Now, Mass Effect 3, to briefly critique it, I don't like the way you get side quests in Mass Effect 3. They make them not feel like side quests. I think it's really clever and unique, but it also takes away a lot of my agency as the player. I don't feel like I'm getting side quests. I feel like that one comic, I think it was maybe a VG Cat strip, where Shepard's just a creeper who likes to help people.
Yeah.
And that doesn't...
Just overhear someone with a problem. Here you go. Fix your problem.
I don't get that sense of fulfillment.
For you. Because no one's asking you to do a thing for them.
Well, and even if they don't ask me, even if I hear it, it'd be nice to track it. It'd be nice to have a quest.
As opposed to just knowing that that's a thing you have to do, like you have to get out your Morrowind notepad.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, Final Fantasy VI didn't tell me that shit either, but there was less shit to remember.
And also, hey, progress time has marched on.
Yeah. I mean, let's just be perfectly fucking honest here. The things I like about Dragon Age Inquisition are that there is so much you can do, but you don't have to. Obviously, the character interactions are really great. There's not as strong of a love interest for me as there was in Mass Effect with Garrus, but they're still really great characters overall, so I can't fault them for not, kowtowing to my personal predilections.
Whereas in terms of personal opinion, I feel alright getting mad at them for not kowtowing to my personal predilections. This is the best game I've ever played, me personally. Which means if there's two games that both have a unique story and both have, the stuff I love as a D&D player, and both of you have decided to do romance as a thing that you have done, and one of you's doing objectively better at it as far as I can tell, that one gets the point.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But again, I think it's a conversation for another podcast.
I think it's a deeper conversation.
Yeah. But it does a lot of things I really appreciate. I like that it does still have side quests that don't have obvious step-by-step instructions. I miss that from games. I miss there being hidden shit. And there is hidden shit in this game.
Yeah, there is.
I really appreciate that. What's the worst game you've ever played? That's question 6.
You go first this time.
Crap. I was not prepared to go first. Worst game I've ever played. Not just didn't live up to the hype, but factually speaking, the worst game I've ever played. Mickey's Mousecapade leaps to mind because I just mentioned it.
Well, this is a thinker. This is a thinker of a thing. All right, I'll start with the first thing that leaped to mind. And I don't think this one's fair because I don't feel like it counts. I sought out and played Superman 64 because I heard how awful it was. I don't think that counts. That game delivered to me exactly as advertised. But that's the one that first leaped to my brain. There was this other game that I played, though, that wasn't mechanically bad. It wasn't broken. But it was fucking boring. I'm trying to remember its name. It was an Xbox game. It was like The Elder Scrolls, but not good at it.
Oh, I think I remember that game you're talking about. We downloaded a demo or something like that.
No, I think this might have been before I met you.
Okay. A Bard's Tale?
No. Fucking started with an E. It's a Fallout thing. Enclave. Enclave was the most boring game I've ever played in my entire life.
Quest 64 might be worse than Mickey's Mousecapade. What a shitty fucking game.
So, in terms of mechanics, for me, Superman 64. But I brought that on myself. In terms of just not even remembering much about the game, so much that it just took me 3 minutes to remember its fucking name, Enclave. Enclave is so boring.
Okay, now here I'm peeling back and I'm going in my head, because I used to, every other weekend when I would go to my dad's house, I would rent a game. Sometimes I'd rent old favorites, but a lot of times I would just rent new shit. And there was a lot of stuff that I rented that was obviously not quite up my alley, so I fucked around in it. Like SimCity. It was a little overcomplicated for my baby mind right then. But I had fun. I made Bowser come and stomp in shit. It was fun.
Bowser, awesome.
Yeah, he was there instead of Godzilla in the SNES version. Sim Ant, I was way in over my head, but I still have great stories about it. Even back when I was on the NES and I would rent whatever bullshit games, fucking Bobby the Bad News Bear Says No to Drugs, or whatever the fuck the name of that game was. Which I have indeed played.
I was drinking, you asshole.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that JonTron episode that came out like a month ago, I totally played that game. Yeah, it is that fucking weird and bad. But I can't, even A Boy and His Blob, that I had no fucking clue what was going on. That game endeared me so much to it that, I still look back on it with fond memories. I got the fucking Wii game. I haven't finished it because I don't have a CRT. But I look forward to it. I love the fact that there was a button to hug the blob. I spent a good 5 minutes just hugging the blob.
Hug blob. Like the button to bro hug in Army of Two.
Or the button to give cornflakes to pigs.
Infinite corn, sleeve corn.
Fucking sleeve corn from Benjamin Franklin. But I cannot think of a game that has left a worse lasting impression on me. At least I wanted to play Mickey's Mousecapade. Like, I thought it was going to get different. Even Lester the Unlikely was at least super fucking intriguing. I wanted to know where it was going, and it felt really ambitious. Fucking Quest 64 is a shit pile. I rented that game. I spent my hard-earned allowance on that game. Read hard-earned as God all the time anyway. And I still was like, no. The half hour I've spent with this is too damn much. That's my answer. Number 7, name a game that was critically popular or critically adored that you just didn't like.
Why don't you go first?
Such a list.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to go first. You get a pick. You have so many options. I can do this quickly. I just looked up its scores. Apparently, Enclave.
I can list a bunch. I don't like Gears of War. It plays like a shittier Army of Two.
Yeah, that's another one. I don't like Gears of War either.
I don't like the campaign mode in Halo. There's nothing wrong with the game. I just think the campaign is fucking boring.
Trust me, viewer and listener. It's okay. I also want to punch him for that.
I had fun with Assassin's Creed 2. I cannot be fucked with the rest of that series.
Hey, they lost me. This is you killed Desmond Miles, and I didn't like him, but you still killed the main character of your overarching story game. Well, I don't care anymore.
And you know what? Honestly, I think the problem is with Assassin's Creed 2, the reason I played it and enjoyed it is because it had really unique mechanics that I couldn't get because Metal Gear was over on PlayStation at the time. And we didn't have a PlayStation, or I just wasn't playing PlayStation or money or something. But it was stealth and action, and it had that cool parkour thing to it.
Then they made Batman, which is just that, but better.
Yeah.
But I also get to be Batman.
If I really want to do parkour, I can rent Mirror's Edge, and Mirror's Edge is a really cool game. So, yeah, Assassin's Creed, you dumb fucking storyline and your stupid fucking characters. You've given me zero reason to care. The boat combat was pretty cool, and I really liked the multiplayer in that game. But it's not worth like $70 a year to play the fucking multiplayer for that game.
Yeah, it's really not. So, I actually have one that's better than Enclave, because I looked at it, it's got really good scores, but I remember that, so I can't offer criticisms. Here's one that everyone fucking loves. I hate StarCraft. Always have.
I'm just bad at RTS games.
I'm good at RTS games. I was good at Red Alert, good at Red Alert 2. I love those games. I love the Command & Conquer series. I never really played Warcraft, but I like Warcraft, not WoW. I didn't ever really play it, but I hate StarCraft. I hate it. I hate everything about it. It's just different enough from the RTSs I grew up on that I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate it, the way its build mechanics go. I hate fucking Zergs. I could say I hate it some more, but if you know RTS stuff, all the stuff about StarCraft that's different than Command & Conquer, I hate all that stuff.
Castlevania 64 was a shit pile. I still had a hell of a lot more fun with the intriguing atmosphere of that game than Quest 64.
Wow. Next question.
Opposite of the last one. Name a game that was poorly received that you like.
A game that was poorly received that I like?
Yeah, that you really like.
Army of Two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was poorly received for the right reasons.
It kind of got shit on for silly reasons.
Yeah, for stupid up-your-own-ass reasons.
But it's... I don't know. What's a game that I like that wasn't well received? It's not me going, I only like good games. I just literally can't think of one.
I know there's plenty. There's plenty of games that I go, well, people didn't like that. The game's awesome. I just can't think about the top of my head.
I've got one. It's a game that I played, and fucking, like, my dog scratched the disc up. I'm not joking. That's not a joke. My dog, like, broke the case and scratched the disc up. And I was so mad because it was, like, my favorite game at the time. And I looked it up since, and apparently everyone thinks it was a huge shit pile. And that was the Star Wars fighting game Masters of Terrascasi.
Masters of Terrascasi was an amazing shit pile.
Fucking people hate that game.
I know they do.
I have no idea why that game was fucking amazing.
Because it was slow and clunky. Mace the Dark Age.
Yeah, for the exact same reason. And I never played that.
Mace the Dark Age was like fucking Street Fighter 2 Turbo compared to fucking Masters of Terrascasi. And I liked both games. But fucking, like, I go back and read reviews because I'm like, why is there not another Mace the Dark Age? That game had fucking incredible characters. It had awesome ideas. It had a cool story. And it wasn't revisited. Why? Well, because apparently, as my teenage self didn't quite understand, it wasn't gonna fly in fighting game tournaments, and that fucking matters.
In fighting games, if you can't fly in tournament play, you might as well not make it.
Yeah, so, but I fucking love that game. I want to buy an N64 and Mace the Dark Age just to play Mace the Dark Age with the boy.
Because I've never played it. Can we also get...
We get Masters of Terrascasi, what the fuck? PS1 game?
Yeah,
sure.
Fucking,
when this disposable income, when this podcast pennies turns into podcast nickels, you and me, my friend.
We're gonna buy old shitty fighting games and play it. It'll be great.
Yeah. That one went by quick. I'm happy about that. What are your favorite game genres? Question 9.
My favorite game genres?
Genres.
They asked me to pick more than one.
Genres.
Role-playing games is number 1 with a bullet. There's like a big space where numbers 3 through 36 go, that they'll just say role-playing games. And I love that role-playing game has become like a sauce that everything else gets cooked in now. There's just role-playing game elements in like every fucking game. I enjoy that.
I love it and I hate it because I feel like while other games have become more rich, it has diminished the number of role-playing games.
Of pure role-playing games. Yeah. And that's a very fair criticism, but I'm okay with it. I can deal with it as a sauce, so long as it's covering all of the stuff. But role-playing games are definitely number 1 with the bullet. Aside from that, I don't know. I like fighting games a lot. But I'm super picky about my fighting games, so I don't know that I can say that.
Anything else?
I mean, I like most game genres. I can't think of a game genre I just don't like. Yeah. Puzzle games, I guess.
I like some puzzle games. I like JRPGs, other role-playing games. Those 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't make JRPGs anymore, and if they do, they're fucking weird-ass titles on the Game Boy, whatever, that don't really have a very interesting story. They're only good if you like anime.
They're usually just tactics RPGs now.
Yeah, I like tactics RPGs, just not that much. Fighting games, definitely. Side-scrollers. I love side-scrollers. Not shoot-em-ups. I don't fucking like shoot-em-ups. And I hate the word shmups.
Yeah, I also hate the word shmups. Shoot-ups doesn't take much longer and doesn't make you sound like a retard.
I just, like, why do you call it that? Like, do you think it makes you sound cool, shmup?
I guess it's like half a syllable shorter.
I mean, I can understand why you type it, and maybe if you typed it for a long time, you just got used to saying it. But, shmup. I can't feel cool playing a shmup. I can feel cool playing a shoot-em-up.
You know, also, I like beat-em-up games.
Oh yeah, like fucking Double Dragon?
Like Double Dragon.
Yeah, I love beat-em-up
Streets
games.
of Rage.
Fucking, Charlie Murder.
Charlie Murder. Oh god, Charlie Murder was fucking fun.
Yeah, beat-em-up games. That's classic shit right there. The old Ninja Turtles games.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I like racing games. I don't play a lot of them anymore.
I used to like racing games, but I just, I fell in love with racing games. The same way I used to, and I don't into sports ball, ladies and gentlemen, but I used to like sports games.
See, I mean, if I had a good quality racing game that I fucking liked, that wasn't trying really hard to be absolutely authentic, because I had, like, Forza Motorsport something or other.
Gran Turismo was the one I had.
Fuck Gran Turismo. Give me fucking Midnight Club. Give me fucking Mario Kart. You know, that's fine.
Give me a racing game, not a car simulator.
Yeah, not a car simulator. Fuck you. Yeah, that's about... I mean, I like action games. I like shooting games. I like third-person shooters.
I like most genres of game, but role-playing games, number 1 with a bullet.
Yeah. Who is your favorite game protagonist?
I feel like that's cheating. All my favorite game protagonists are my characters that I made for video games. Like, I love my shepherd. I wouldn't want to hang out with the guy, but I love him. Oh, and
we've kind of talked about this in the Player Character podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We did some time ago. Go check it out. Damn. Go check it out on our channel. But we talked about what we like about our characters. With the caveat that it's not a character you made. Who's your favorite game protagonist?
Ooh. That's a hard one. Do you have one ready?
Samus kind of pops to mind. Even though, like, the last Metroid I played was Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo.
Samus is really cool. Video game protagonist.
Mario and Luigi.
Like, I love Ezio de Auditore Differenze. I love Ezio. He's a great guy. I don't give a shit about Desmond, but I like Ezio.
I'm trying to think of the last video game that I was excited.
Batman. Batman.
I think that's cheating.
Sweet.
I can't remember the last game I was excited because it was another game about my favorite. I can't. Big Boss. Fucking Naked Snake. That guy is awesome. So I'm looking forward to the Kurt Russell version because that's going to be even awesomer. Number 11. Describe your perfect video game.
Pass.
Would it be a Freddie Prinze Jr. dating simulator?
With fewer fetch quests, yes.
Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, mind you, this was back before shit like this was out, so, you know, I was still smart for thinking of it, and not just like, well, that exists and you're done. When I was a kid, I thought it would be really cool to have a game that was like an RPG most of the time, but then when you got to fights, it played out like a fighting game. Like, and you had combos and shit you could do, and, I thought it might be cool if there were like platforming sections too and stuff. Kind of like, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door.
Or
probably the closest I can think of.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, Dragon Age is less fighting gamey and more, you know, action gamey. In terms of hashing out combat, I was always more fond of the way fighting games do it. I like the technical aspect of fighting games. But that's when I was a kid. Now, at this point, it would probably be some kind of like major MMO-ish kind of thing. But they'd have to make it Skyrim, but an MMO. And I don't mean the Elder Scrolls Online. We've talked about this before.
The Elder Scrolls Online is not that. But if you give me that as an MMO...
Or fuck, not even as an MMO. Multiplayer Skyrim. Where you can invite your bros in and you guys can do shit together.
Yeah, where I could like get my thief character and sneak around and kill a bunch of the guards. That way the barbarian character can charge in and kill the boss. I would love that.
Or multiplayer Mass Effect, multiplayer Dragon Age. Not the
multiplayer they have there.
Yeah, which is fine, but if I want something where I can, you know, go back, talk to my crew, do whatever, and still progress the story with my pals. You know, still fight the missions with my pals. Or just go out on a fucking lark like you can in Skyrim and, you know, fight shit and explore dungeons.
So, your perfect video game is D&D.
Yeah. But in a video game. So that I don't have to use my imaginations and my own shitty voice acting. I can get high quality Hollywood voice acting. I can see it. D&D cutting out that DM middleman.
I cannot dispute that as a very good idea. I don't think I could describe my perfect video game because I don't think I would know that it was my perfect video game until I got it in my hands. Because it'd be real easy to say like Mass Effect 3 with a better ending or Dragon Age Inquisition with slightly fewer fetch quests, but I don't know. Maybe there's some other stuff about the game that could be improved that I don't even know could be improved because I can't fathom it being better than it is. I don't want to say what my perfect video game would be because I don't know that that's the case until I run across it.
Mine would probably also have to be in an old school Final Fantasy setting.
Because you love the shit out of those.
I so do. I miss them so much.
Next question.
Yeah, next question. Number 12. I'm closer to the computer that has the questions on it. That's why I keep reading these. This one gets saucy. What video game character do you have a crush on?
Like, for real though? Did this become like a MySpace quiz all of a sudden?
How many glitter gifts can you fit on your top 8? Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how much can your internet handle, motherfucker. Well, let me rephrase this a little more.
Well, I know what the question's asking. I just
I mean, like, well, you know, call a spade a spade.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw spade.
That's the insidest of inside jokes, listener.
Anyway, you have a video game character who is your waifu / husbando?
You're looking at him.
I'm looking at Garrus Precarious.
And I mean, not really. I love Garrus. I do. And I like to make a lot of jokes. But, let's be honest, I'm way more attracted to my shepherd than I am Garrus.
Yeah, Garrus is just the you insert.
Garrus is the vehicle for me to romance that sweet, sweet shepherd.
Garrus is the vehicle for you to romance yourself, you giant narcissist.
No, she's not like me. She's much more take charge.
No. You are creating a situation where you are getting romanced by a lady who's like super duper hot and take charge, and you're this is totally the quality of lady for whom I am deserving.
Like Cassandra, if she weren't secretly all wilty.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she were just a badass constantly. I think that's why I wasn't interested in her as a romantic.
Because you find out she secretly gets
like
all,
I could smell
mushy.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I ship the fuck out of her and Varric. That's.
To be honest, my current playthrough of Dragon Age, I'm romancing her, and I ship her and Varric.
You should go be with him. We had shit together.
We're passable. We're fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I mean, like, you two are meant for each other.
Oh my god. Other than that, I guess Freya Crescent from Final Fantasy IX. She's up there, really high.
I guess if I had to make a call there, Talizora Vas Normandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not before Vas Normandy. Like Vas Naraya, fuck that shit.
Well, I did. That's the whole point.
Hi-oh!
Let's see how long we can last.
I made 10 seconds.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's sick too.
But
I guess it was more like 8 seconds, but it was 10. Okay.
You rode the bull. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, you rode the bull.
Hey, don't talk from the bottom.
But yeah, no. That's just her name. That's her name.
I know.
But yeah, if I had to make a call, that's it. She's adorable.
Mako, I think is her name, from Star Wars: The Old Republic Bounty Hunter Quest. But, and I think this is why I haven't had like a really great romance option, because BioWare done gave me a really fucking good one. She's super cute. She's got the whole wrench wench thing going on. That's a trope. I'm not calling her a wench. I'm not from the 1600s.
Wench, another ale.
She's voiced by Lacey Chabert, who was like a childhood celebrity crush of mine. So yeah, that's a really fucking good one, and really the only reason I'll probably ever go back to Knights of the Old Republic is to finish that. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. I mean, I can't think of anybody else, any really strong.
I can't really think of anyone really like a strong crush. That's about it.
When I was of appropriate age, I had a crush on Realm from Final Fantasy VI, but she stayed 10 and I became not 10, so that went away. Although I've seen some cosplays of her as an adult, and I gotta say, not bad at all. Yeah. I've lost my place in the list. This one's going to eat up a lot of this podcast. Oh, you guys have already covered 3 questions. It's only 10 minutes in, plus the theme music. What are you going to do? You shouldn't have cut it into 2 episodes. What game has the best music?
The floor is yours, sir.
The floor is mine. I challenge thee. And it is a heightful challenge. You don't know why he's laughing at that. Nah, fuck it, I'll tell you. What, we got time to kill. I was doing some DMing recently. And, we were messing around in a space setting I have. And the joke, not really joke, one of the quirks is that everybody's got translators, little earpiece translators. They'll translate written text, quietly telling you what they are. But everybody's language is really, really different. So this character's in a Starbucks in space, and they're looking at the menu in the Starbucks, and it's all, like, in gibberish as far as they're concerned. Because the 3 coffee sizes are, what was it,
Heightful. Fat. And
20. And since then I've accidentally entered heightful into my vocabulary. But, yes, I put this tall order to you. You find me a better video game composer than Nobu Uematsu, and I will be a stunned-ass motherfucker.
I don't know that can be done. I'd say there's music that is as good for the game.
Sure, I would say Mega Man's music. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but that composer.
Yeah, there's music that fits the game just as well as anything, anything Final Fantasy's anything ever in Final Fantasy. But in terms of actual quality music, I don't know that it gets better.
Dragon Age Inquisition has some really fucking good music.
I have that audio glitch where about 3/4 of the time my music won't play and my companions won't talk. I'm trying to fix it for days. So I
had a conversation the other day.
Yeah, it's very rare. Usually after I fix it, it'll last for about an hour.
No, they'll patch it, actually.
Here's hoping. But I haven't heard as much of the music as I'd like to. Mostly what I've heard is the instrumental version of A Dawn Will Come about 1,000,000 times.
Well, it's in cutscenes and stuff. Still plays in cutscenes, doesn't it?
Most of the time.
That's where I hear it a lot. I like that a lot of characters have leitmotifs again. And
I love the Valroyo song.
Oh,
I hate the lyrics to the Valroyo song.
Oh my god, they're not that bad until the chorus.
I hate the lyrics to most of the songs.
That bard isn't terribly good, but that's sort of period accurate.
Yeah, they went out of their way to make a bard who wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Except for Sarah, which she's just hitting on her.
Yeah. I really like leitmotifs. I think they can add a lot. And this is a conversation, I don't remember if we had it on the podcast or not, but we've had it before. I argued that it's kind of sad that these days RPGs, video games in general, don't have as strong of a musical backbone because they went with more complicated and subdued musical pieces instead of...
They went with background music
Yeah.
because of the
Things we have
sound
voice
effects
acting
and voice acting, and there's much more depth there, so the music takes a step back to allow other things to the fore.
But I like the fact that Dragon Age Inquisition's team took the time, and I'm sure considerable money, and resources it required to make those kind of leitmotifs work with the dialogue.
And every character has one, and they're different,
and it really
places
sells
have one.
things. And I love how some of them are like a quiet echo of other music, like Varric's music. Have you noticed it is the fucking Kirkwall song, but sad?
Yeah.
I love that! I mean, that's just those little kind of touches. But, the video game that has the best music, just if I had to pick one fucking video game, it would have to be either Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy IV. Those both have really incredible musical scores. After that, I'd say probably 7. It's got really good music to it.
See, for my money, I can't argue that because, that would make me a video game blasphemer to try.
Oh no, please, go ahead. I'll only hit you a little.
I don't know that there's... I'd say there's other games, like I said, whose music isn't necessarily as good of music as Uematsu's, but it's just as good for the game. Like, I know you don't like it, but all three Halo games soundtrack perfectly fit and help establish the theme and the feel of that game so well.
Well, I would agree the same thing is true of Mass Effect. Even though there's
Yeah.
only like a couple of standout tracks, the instruments used and the way the music is presented. Oh, you know what? Can I change my answer to Silent Hill 2? Let's put Silent Hill 2 up there. Oh my god. I don't know if there's music, I've listened to a lot of fucking video game music in my life, but one specific soundtrack that I've listened to fucking ad nauseum, I love Silent Hill 2's music.
For me, video game music has a different metric.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm able to say Uematsu might have contenders to his title, because it's not about being good music. It's about being music that fits the game you're in and helps the game be better.
Well, and I would say that's true of Uematsu's music, of Akira Yamaoka, who did the Silent Hill soundtrack's music. And I'm really sorry, I want to say her nickname is Bun Bun. I can't remember the composer for Mega Man off the top of my head. Yeah, you can Google it, thank you. Yeah, those music... My criteria, like you said, that it fits the game it's in. Second criteria, you can listen to it apart from the game it's in. Now, I don't know if everybody can listen to Akira Yamaoka's Silent Hill music, but I can, and I fucking love it.
I'm probably gonna butcher this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Manami Matsume.
Matsume, that's right, thank you.
Is the composer of the Mega Man.
Yeah, she is so good. She's got such simple approach to composing. I'm
But it's
so looking forward to...
delightfully iconic. As I've stated on this podcast before, I'm not actually a fan of the Mega Man games, but I love their lore and I love the music of those games. Because they're perfect. They fit the stages they're in perfectly. They establish the character of the stage and the boss. And Mega Man. So much of that game's character is established through its music. And it's really good music.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night also has an incredible score. So do the NES Castlevania games, but Symphony of the Night's, like, fucking fantastic. Chrono Trigger games, those are good too. Off the top of my head, that's all I got. There's a couple, like, standout themes, but for an entire soundtrack, that's what I have.
Next question, I think.
Next question. Did you not, don't really have one you can...
There are contenders, but I think at the end of the day, I mean, you're probably right.
SmackDown versus Raw, Here Comes the Pain?
No, I hate wrestling game soundtracks because it's just wrestling theme music over and over
and
and
like
over and over
shitty,
and over.
like third-rate rap. And Power Man 5000.
You signed some sort of lifetime Satan deal with Vince McMahon.
Number 14, most memorable moment in a game.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for what?
The most memorable moment in a game. I'm not going to count any games I'm playing right now.
That's fair.
Those don't count because they're memorable because I just fucking did them. Just now. But I'm trying to think of the best one, the most memorable moment, because there's a couple that really stand out. Do you have anything off the top of your head?
I've got a lot of good lines. Moments, I'm not sure. I think a line that counts as a moment, and it is a spoiler, but I will not give away the context or even the game. But I can!
Yeah, it was probably...
I mean, that just right there, an entire character defined in one line, and it's a wonderful
defined
character.
Perfectly.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just encapsulated.
That entire section of that part of that game, I think, is really strong.
Yeah, that whole thing is, like, super memorable.
That's something that's probably going to stick with me for fucking ever. And that's what I'm kind of thinking here in terms of stuff that's going to stick with me for fucking ever. That being said, the entire final boss fight for Final Fantasy VI, like from the bottom of the tower to Kefka descending in his golden winged form, is just the music and the imagery and the subtle, religious subtext and the not so subtle religious subtext, just all blending together with everything on the line and my young mind at the time, yeah, that's going to stick with me for pretty much ever.
Yeah. Most memorable moment is actually probably from the same game as yours.
Yeah.
It is, and it betrays me as like this secretly mushy fuck, but it was so perfect.
Okay.
It's a line that counts as a moment. Because there's a speech that comes right before it that I cannot give without being just fucking ruinous spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
But
and these are the kind of things like that. We'll tell you what happens, but to give you that moment, to take that moment away from you, I think is...
It's just not fair. But it's... Tila Salai.
Yeah. Yeah.
That got to me,
yeah.
okay? Not much gets past the shell.
No, the other line in that same section, oh my god.
What? Which one?
Oh, no. Okay, this is spoilers. If you don't already know what we're talking about, and if you kind of know now, you're like, no, I don't want to know. This one, it gives it away. And I used it like a motherfucker in a role-playing game. Mute it. I'm not giving you 5 seconds. You had enough warning. Plug your ears and go, la, la, la. It's not going to take but 4 seconds for me to say. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Does this unit have a soul?
Oh, fuck! Oh, that hurts! It burns!
Oh, my God! Oh, fuck. Oh, that whole game. Oh, it just takes your heart and fucking mushes it to death. Oh, shit. God, it's good. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I like that, they turned away and then, like, tuned back and were making these orgasmic pain noises. Did they fuck while I wasn't listening? Yes. It was over that quick. So yeah, let's move the fuck on. Scariest moment in a game?
Does it have to be a game I personally played?
Go ahead and say what you're thinking, and then and then I think you should try to come up with something.
It's not a scary moment, it's a scary, like, I don't know, there's 2 different games from this same source. One of them genuinely startled me, but I don't think that's the right one. It's the whole of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, because it's not one specific moment. It's not when the jump scare comes. It's when you're trying to prevent it from coming.
I don't remember. Did we talk about Five Nights at Freddy's when we were doing our Halloween Spooktacular?
Maybe. If we didn't, they can Google it.
Well, let me cover it briefly here. You know, this game gets a lot of flack and a lot of praise, and I think the thing most people are missing here is it's not about the jump scares.
No, because you don't. It's about not having the jump scares. It's the tension that builds as you're desperately trying to not get murdered.
Yeah, jump scares are not. It doesn't help. But it's the tension. It's that feeling of panic. I mean, any game can make you go, so long as you're susceptible to that. But to be put into that state of fuck, you know.
I wasn't even playing this game. I both watched someone on the internet play it, and White play it, and does the same thing to me both times. I'm like watching going, it's this tension. I'm not even playing the game, and there's this tension, this knot.
Scary. Scary is such a weird word for me.
I don't play a lot of scary games.
I don't necessarily know that my scariest moments would be from a scary game. Off the top of my head, what happens at the end of the quest at Adamant? The Thing?
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking scary.
Appropriately, I would say.
What crests over the hill at Haven was also pretty fucking scary. That's the first time in a long time where a game was made me go, oh god, no. Five Nights at Freddy's scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to pretend. I have nightmares about it sometimes. But, not like bad ones, but I have a hard time sleeping. I'm like, Foxy won't get me. He just go and pop right in that corner and be all, ah! And be all like, I got. But, scary shit, like, I want to say, I'm probably going to butcher how this name's pronounced, Gaigus from Earthbound, The Final Battle. I've never even actually fucking played it. I mean, I briefly played the game itself, and it's cool, but I didn't have the kind of disposable income to have whatever game I wanted whenever I wanted back when I had a Super Nintendo, so I never got around to playing it. But that's fucked up.
I could go meta and reveal a long buried axe between the two of us. You want to know what my scariest moment in gaming was? It's when I deleted Blanco.
Oh yeah, that must have been fucking terrifying.
It's just one pure, crystal clear moment of fucking no!
Oh, good times. But like in terms of like setting an atmospheric, scary mood, you know, Silent Hill 2 did it really good. Fatal Frame is really good at it.
I just don't play a lot of scary games. It's not even that I don't like them, it's just that I don't.
And I would say, honestly, most of the scariest moments I've seen in gaming are in games that are not purported to be scary. Like, everything is pretty normal, and then something fucked up happens, and you're like,
They're startling, is the thing.
No, I don't even mean, well, it's jarring.
Yeah,
it's not,
I'm
not talking about the jump scare, I'm talking about...
When you're going into a scary game, you are buying a certain bill of goods. You understand what you're going for. You understand what's going to be happening. When you're playing a normal game and then scary shit just happens, it's more surprising.
Atmosphere is really important. Even in a game that you're getting into because it's purported to be scary, coming across something unsettling and quiet is, I would say, almost universally more frightening, more disturbing than something popping out and going booga booga and looking really gross or whatever.
Yeah.
So there have been moments across countless games that have just been this kind of, oh, fuck. That, no, I mean, I can't think of off the top of my head. Not because, you know, I have no foundation here, which went into this list blind. It's not like I did research. And a feeling of being chased. That's never good.
Yeah, that's never good.
Castlevania 64 I talked about there was a hedge maze you had to go through where super jacked Frankenstein Leatherface is chasing you with a chainsaw. That was pretty scary.
So, next question, I guess.
No. There are 2 points, and both of them are kind of jump scares. Scariest moments in games. The PT demo. Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
For me, that was just startling.
Well, but the whole fucking thing is just made of unnerving. I don't want to go too far into it because I could spend the whole fucking podcast talking about how fucking genius this demo I've never played is. Because again, no PlayStation 4. But wow, is that good horror craft.
Yeah.
Thing 2. I lost it because Silent Hill. Okay, no, Five Nights at Freddy's. Not the jump scares, not the loud noises, not the pressure, but you're doing stuff, everything is fine, and then, it's me! And those faces are just flashing, and you're like, no, God, no! No matter how many times you've had it happen. Just for a second, it's like, what's going on? And then it lingers long enough for your panic to like ride, for you to have all this adrenaline you don't know what to do with, and then it's cut. Which is the same reason the big jump scare in PT works. Because it hangs on for just long enough. Past where a jump scare would usually be fucking done with, and makes you go, no, this is going down and I can't stop it. And that's when it ends. After it takes you too far. Those are scary moments in gaming. They combine the atmosphere with the jump scare, with the horror, with the dread, and they just smack you with it all at once. I think that's like the perfect kind of scare. He points at the screen and says, move the fuck along. Most heart-wrenching moment in a game. Well, we covered 3.
3 or 4. Yeah, no, I think Does This Unit Have a Soul probably wins.
Yeah. There's been a couple in Dragon Age Inquisition so far that have been pretty harsh.
Yeah.
The Blackwall romance. Even if you do the nice things, that's pretty rough. Because you're seeing a person laid bare, emotionally speaking. And that's harsh. And it translates well. Better than I thought it was going to. Yeah. Yeah, man. Does this unit have the soul? I think that's probably...
I think that probably wins.
Yeah. Heart-wrenching? Yeah. What are your favorite websites / blogs about games? We're just going right past the emotional wreckage into just fucking chit-chatty sort of stuff.
Yep. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite website / blog about games.
YouTube. I mean, I watch a lot of reviewers. I like Game Grumps. I like John Tron. Most of the indie games I find that I enjoy, I get through Dodger at Press Heart.
Press Heart to continue.
Yeah, and Markiplier. Now he's turned me on to a lot of cool shit.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's. There's a bunch of other stuff he's done that I'm like, oh, I want to try that. I don't read a lot of stuff.
I do, but I'm very omnivorous. I read from almost anywhere. There are a couple of sites that I don't read from for various reasons.
Both of us, for personal reasons, avoid Kotaku.
Yeah. But aside from that, it's mostly just I'm pretty omnivorous. I'll get the gaming news from where the gaming news comes from. I don't really have a favorite.
But yeah, in terms of favorites, it's
YouTube.
reviewers, it's YouTubers, Pro Jared, people who do Let's Plays that I like. I know I'm going against my try not to put names out there, but you asked.
It's yeah. And don't mention better music during your shitty music, but you asked what the better music was, so we told you.
Yeah. I can't think there's anybody else that... the Minecraft guy, Paul Soares Jr.
Yeah.
He's cool. Let's see. What's the last game you finished?
Last game I finished?
Yeah.
I don't play a lot of games with finish conditions anymore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, stuff like that, yeah.
Last game I probably finished, like the game I beat the most recently, was probably Assassin's Creed 3. I just hadn't...
Not Skyrim?
Dude, I beat Skyrim ages ago.
Well, yeah, but you beat it again.
I don't know no, actually I haven't beat it again since I started playing on the computer. I've been doing other stuff instead of beating the game.
Oh, neat. I can find out, because I keep track of these kind of things.
Because I sat Assassin's Creed 3 down for I think a year.
Yeah, and you came back and that one dude died.
Yep.
I don't feel bad about spoiling Assassin's Creed because they come out with a new game every fucking year, so it doesn't matter. Games I conquered in 2014 here on my Facebook. Last game I beat was Mighty Gunvolt on the 3DS, I think. Yep. A little indie game I got a free code for backing Mighty Number 9 on Kickstarter. Other than that, it's been Smash Brothers.
You know what? No. It was Charlie Murder.
Oh, yeah, we did beat Charlie Murder together. Let's go back to the questions. What future releases are you most excited about? I think in the wake of Dragon Age Inquisition, that's kind of the question that makes you go,
I was excited about Dragon Age Inquisition, and then it came out. Now I'm fine for the next couple of years.
I'm looking forward to the new Fallout, even though it's not actually even been announced yet. I know they're making it. We both know they're making it. You all know they're making it. Ultimo, listener, viewer, if you're for some reason staring at our logo.
And I am desperately excited about that too, as an old school Fallout fan. But
especially on the new engine, the Skyrim engine.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Hotline Miami 2.
I'm looking forward to the new Arkham game. I didn't give a shit about Arkham Origins. The new one looks good. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Is Street Fighter Cross Tekken ever coming out? Like the other half of what came out? Tekken Cross Street Fighter, I guess.
I don't know. It's kind of like it disappeared into, if not vaporware, then I don't give a shit where.
Yeah. That I would be looking forward to Street Fighter V, but I'm not going to play it anytime soon. You watch. This is going to be the one they fucking bring Eagle back for.
Let's see.
Oh, fucking Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, actually, I'm excited.
Very
for
much looking forward to that.
I'll probably hate it, but I still want it to come out.
Anything else? Anything else?
No, the big releases that I've been waiting for are done.
Yeah.
I suppose any Inquisition DLC they make.
Yeah, Inquisition DLC will be nice. They're giving us some free stuff first. That's cool. Not just multiplayer stuff, but like stuff they couldn't finish in the game.
That's nice.
Yeah. Mass Effect 4, I guess. I know you're not looking forward to it as much, but
It's just, it was such a personal story for me. It was my Shepard's story. Being separated from that, one, I don't know how they're gonna do it accurately.
yeah, that is.
It's such a different setting now. With the
Although,
ending,
I mean,
and with the different endings you can pick, unless they choose to go with one canon one, and unless it's the one I want to pick, it's gonna make me mad.
they could always do like a keep thing.
Yeah, but the world will be. It's not like the Keep, where the world's kind of different. The world will be very different.
I don't know. You could hand wave some shit.
I don't know, dude. Green ending? Green ending, really?
Well, you know, change the graphics a little bit.
And just never address it.
Yeah. Well, it's a fact of life. Why would you talk about it?
Fair
Unless
enough.
you're an asshole who routinely asks poor fucking Joker what happened to his legs. We've covered that joke on the podcast. If you don't understand it, go back to our Mass Effect podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. What future releases? No, we did that. Do you identify as a gamer?
Yup.
I would say I do as well. Sometimes I get really critical of myself, and I'm like, am I a gamer anymore? Do I really play games? And then I sit down and actually think about what I do, and it's like Pokemon, League of Legends, World of Warcraft. What am I doing that isn't video games exactly? Work. Whether it's working on my shit or working on, my 9 to 5. So yeah, no, that's kind of what I am. I don't know if I identify as a gamer above other shit.
No, there's other things I also am.
Yeah.
It's possible to be more than one thing.
Sure, I agree, but I wouldn't say it's my main identifier.
Me either. I would say my main identifier is an asshole. That's what I am.
I'd say you rock the nerd first.
Yeah. Nerd for life.
Yeah. Man, if I could only identify as one thing, a creator, I guess.
A maker of things.
Yeah. And the last question, which is not the last thing we're going to talk about here on the podcast. We still got a little bit of time, even in this bonus level. Question 21, why do you play video games?
That's a fucking existential ass question, sir.
Is it not? Is that not the Nelson Muntz of questions?
It's fucking... I play video games because that's who I am. In the same way that people who, like wrestlers, pro wrestlers who really love the business, that's what they do because it's what they are. They're pro wrestlers. It's what they wake up in the morning and see themselves as. It's, to make it a very self-aggrandizing joke. I'm a gamer because it's, I play video games because it's what I think of myself when I ask, when I'm talking to myself in my head. That's who I think of myself as. I don't call myself Bruce Wayne.
We're all really glad about that, by the way.
Yeah. It's who I am. It's one of the things I do for fun, and it's one of the things I do to connect with other people who enjoy the same kind of thing I do, the same kind of things I do. It's one of the things I do to absorb stories, and really, more than a gamer, that's what I am. I'm someone who absorbs stories.
That's true. That's good. I like that.
I read, I watch television, I play video games, I read comics, and it's all because I love stories. And games are just another way to do that.
Wow. I think we've really just broken down our relationship as friends here, just in this moment, because what is a nerd but somebody who absorbs stories? and then, like, talks about them, critiques them, whatever. But they take in the media, TV, movies, comic books, video games, anime, what have you, and they absorb it, and they roll around in it. And here I identify as somebody who makes stories, whether I'm making them, telling tales with you on this podcast, whether I'm thinking about, pen and paper role-playing games, or books, or other videos I want to do, or movies I want to make someday. I want to tell stories, and you want to hear stories. That I think the crux of why we get along as people, despite our many, many differences. That's beautiful. This has been a beautiful moment on the Two Nerds podcast, whose name I just butchered. The Turner's podcast. Ted Turner's podcast.
Teddy Jr. is back there.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I play video games because, yeah, I guess for a similar reason. I mean, they've been such an intrinsic part of my life that it's hard to separate myself from them. Sometimes I sit down and ask, what would I be doing, recreationally if I weren't playing video games? Or more accurately, I wonder, what the fuck is it other people are doing if they're not playing video games?
For fun.
Yeah.
Not just doing with, work, because this is free advice from a guy who isn't super successful and doesn't really have a lot of things to give it that merit him to give advice, but do not live to work. Work to live. So, what do you do with the life that you have, that you work for, to be able to, afford? What are other people doing? Listener, if you don't play video games, tell us in the comments. And this is not me being sarcastic. I genuinely want to know. What do you do with your time?
Well, I mean, there's some obvious answers. I watch movies. There's somebody on my Facebook who also does a, movies you've watched this year thing that I compete with, and she always blows me out of the water because I play video games.
And she just watches movies. And you know what?
Not that
fair.
There's anything wrong with that.
No, fair. That's perfectly valid thing. Then I will expand the question. If you don't absorb stories through whatever medium, reading, movies, TV, that sort of thing, if you're not in it for stories, what do you do?
And not just what do you do, but why do you do it? If you're into sports, but you're not in it for the story of the sport, which a lot of people aren't. Most, I would imagine. Why do you watch the sport? What gets you off on?
What drives you? What causes you to love watching this thing?
What is it about knitting that really lets you just fucking sit alone in a room with 2 knitting needles and a bunch of knitting goo?
Yarn. It's called yarn?
Yarn. Yeah. Yarn. And make sweaters and fucking other bits.
You're the kind of person who likes to hang out with your family or hang out with your friends, and you're not talking about pop culture stuff, which would require you to absorb stories in the first place. And I swear to God, I'm not being sarcastic. I don't know what you would talk about. What is it you talk about, and why? Why does it drive you? Why is it something that you like to talk about?
We're very self-observational people. We like to look inward and understand why we do the things we do. It's part of the reason we like to talk to you, listener, because we are very aware of who we are, why we are who we are. And that's really a lot of what this little questionnaire was about. I really had a strong desire today, if we're not going to talk about The Hobbit, because we didn't get to see it, to talk about what makes us us. And to get a little closer to the listener over this period of about, an hour and a half.
And yeah, ultimately, I am an infinitely curious being, and I really want to know more about you, listener. By all means, tell me I'll read all the comments. Tell me what it is you do for fun. I want to know.
And knowing is half the battle?
There's no real wrap-up there. It's a genuine question.
Yeah, no. But as always, we value you guys. We might not have the most hits on YouTube ever, but
those hits we do have, we cherish.
Yeah,
trust
I'm
me.
always happy to see comments and thumbs ups, and still so blown away that our World of Warcraft videos had so much support. That's really awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
But we'll be here next week, post Christmas, hopefully with some Hobbit stuff. If not, we'll take a look back. Check out 2014 as a year.
See what it gave us, the ups, the downs. Mostly the ups, because we're not so much about downs here on the Tune In Podcast.
No, yeah, there's lots of downs you could talk about, but that's not why we're here.
This is not the venue for that. But I don't really think there's a segue here.
But no matter what we do end up talking about, you can guarantee it will be better.
Because everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Yeah, nailed it.